Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to The Artist Prepares. I am your host, Mr. J the Actor. My next guest coming to the stage is from the city of brotherly love. Oh yeah, talking about Philadelphia, y'all. He's an actor with a passion that has performed throughout stages in the country. He's most recently making a name for himself in film and television. You may even recognize him as one of the hosts of the dope podcast, Brother from Another. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Chase Monroe Rivers.
Thank you very much. Everything's good, man. Everything's good. I mean, given the circumstance, pandemic and everything, but everything's good, man. No complaints on mine.
That's good, man. I'm happy to have you here, my brother. And man, we're gonna have some fun today, man. Definitely respect the work that you're doing. I see you out there getting your act on, man. We definitely gonna talk about that and a bunch of other things, man. So I hope you're ready, man.
Look, I'm ready, and I appreciate that too.
Of course,
I'm
man.
ready.
So we actors, man. And in order for actors to really get in their zone, man, we gotta get warmed up a little bit, man. So before we get
Warm
started,
ups.
man, I got a few rapid fire questions for you, man. First couple just gonna be some word association, man. So I'm gonna give you a word, and you just let me know the first thing that comes to mind. First word I have is discipline. First thing that comes to mind when you think about discipline.
Discipline. You do little curveballs at me. Discipline important.
Mm.
I wouldn't say most important, but it's definitely up there.
Right.
It's top three as far as important, especially I think anything, not even just being a performer or an actor, it's everything. Like you gotta be disciplined. I gotta be disciplined in how I parent. I gotta be disciplined in how I go about my day. I have to be because if I'm not, I'll be all over the place, kind of how I was earlier today. But
right. Fact.
I will for another story.
All right, cool. Next word is consistency. First thing that comes to mind.
Everything.
Okay.
That's how you build trust. You got to be consistent on how you do things. I can't being sporadic is not good. It's not a good look. I'm gonna keep it in the theater realm. I know I could, these words could pertain to everything, but consistency for me, man. I gotta get out there, and every time I'm at rehearsal, every time I'm at the show, that you gotta get what you get at the show, you gotta see at the rehearsals. I have to be consistent on how I'm performing because if not, then how can they bank on me? How can a director? How can a producer? How could my fellow actors bank on me to bring it? You know what I'm saying? So if I'm playing in rehearsal too much, I'm gonna be playing too much when the show come around because that's just how habits. That's how you create habits.
I like
So
it.
I think consistency even more important than discipline. I mean, discipline plays into it, but consistency is what I focus on the most.
I see you, brother. I see you. All right, next word, winning. First thing that comes to mind when you hear winning.
Winning. I mean, I come from playing sports. Winning is very important. But as I've lived, I've learned that it ain't as important as I would thought it would be.
Mm.
Because if you always win, then what's a loss? So
I like
it's like life, man. It brings duality.
Yeah.
So with winning comes losing. Somebody has to lose at the end of the day. But then again, what's a loss if you learn from it?
Mm-hmm.
So I need those kind of setbacks, those losses, air quotation mark.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? To build character. If I'm always winning, then what am I?
I like it. That's true. That's true. Let's keep it going. Next word, award. When you hear the word award, what comes to mind?
Recognition.
Mm.
And I say that because it's you get recognized. The award is the recognition for what you've done.
Mm-hmm.
It's the result.
Yeah.
You did this, so you get that.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my daughter screaming in the background. But yeah, that's awards. It's not what I strive to get. They're welcome, but
Yeah.
it ain't the goal at the end of the day.
I mean, it's good to be acknowledged for some junk
Yeah,
done. So I
yeah,
feel you on
all the time,
that.
all the time.
So man, you from Philly, man. So who is do you have a favorite Philly rapper that you like?
Philly rapper?
Philly. Because I know it's usually hard for people to like people. Sometimes people don't really rock with people from where they from or they look outside. So do you have a Philly rapper that you rock with?
Yeah, but it's a lot of them that I rock with, but probably the most I would probably say Beanie Siegel,
Oh,
just because
Beans. Okay.
he could tap into any genre of rap.
A great storyteller too.
Yeah, yeah, and consistent. He's always been consistent, man. So I would say him, or I would have to go the Roots. You know what I'm saying? I would have to go.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because they talking about consistency. They all
Right.
that's love. You know what I'm saying? Black Thought, all them. Yeah, yeah.
Do it all.
I think Black Thought is up there. Yeah,
Oh, lyricist to the ninth degree, boy. He always up.
yeah.
All right, cool. So what's a movie that you think that people sleep on? Because everybody got that
Sleep on.
a movie you think that people don't really give enough credit to,
Oh, that's tough. That's tough. Cause I don't know, yo. I mean, I was just having a conversation with my man's. It wasn't a movie per se, but it was the family. It was the Wayans. Like,
man.
granted, they get a lot of love. They get a lot of love, but I still think they don't get as much love as they deserve. Because I was the movie that I'm talking to is Mo Money.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know if you ever saw, but
Oh yeah.
it
Most
was like it's just
yeah.
just genius. Yeah, more money, more money, like that. Yeah, like that movie in particular. Like when we talk about comedies, it's always Friday, Coming to America. Like we say top of the top, but I feel like Mo Money. You know, I'm gonna get you, sucker. Uh, don't be a menace. Like all the stuff that the Wayans touched.
Yeah.
Like,
I just made my kids watch Damon Jones in Major Pain. And I know that movie
see,
is hurtful. Just that family, the talent that they had, but not only the talent that they had, but the people they put on. Think about In
yes,
Living Color and how many people got put on from that show. The people we
right.
recognize from then that are now still doing things. Like
Hmm.
that's crazy. It's dope.
They got a tree.
Yeah.
Tree is crazy, yo. So I'm gonna say more money for because I mean I ain't think of it. So it's like the first thing that popped in my head because I was just talking about it, more money and just the Wayans family as in general.
I got you. I got you. All right. So you talked about black movies. What do you think is the most quoted black movie? Because everybody got their favorite ones, but who you think the people?
Coming to America.
Yeah.
Coming to America is between me and mine, like my family and I. We can't get together without quoting "Coming to America" line. Like
It's so
it's
many
just
quotables.
impossible.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so many quotables.
Like it's crazy, yo. Like I don't know about the sequel. Like I'm a little iffy, but I'm gonna watch it just
Yeah,
off
yeah.
the strength of the first one. But Coming to America, anytime me and my that Color Purple, we the Color Purple shouldn't be funny, man. But
But it is.
you give me and my family, it ain't nothing but comedy in there. So those are the most two quotable
That's what
movies
black
for
people
me.
do, man. We take situations that's really not supposed to be funny, and we
Make it funny.
hey man, that's how you got it. That's how you got to keep it moving, man. All right, so we talked about movies, man. If you had the opportunity to direct your own movie, right? And you could pick, whatever cast you have. Of course, I'm not gonna ask you to pick, name everybody, but who are some of the actors that you would want to work with if you were making your own movie?
Oh, that's crazy. I was just thinking, Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
He's like my favorite actor. I was watching Breaking Bad, and
Oh yeah.
like just his mannerisms or how he carried the scheme. It's him. Uh, am I doing people now or like in their prime?
It's your list, doc. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going. I'm going after Eddie Murphy in his prime. I have to have Eddie.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how him and Giancarlo would rock, but I would love to see it. Who else, man? See, that's comedy and that's serious, but Giancarlo could be comic too. But
Yeah. I mean, he did his joint in what's Spike's joint? Do the right thing. Yeah, yeah.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You stepped on my kicks, man. Like he could play black, he could play Hispanic. Like his range is ridiculous. Like, his range is crazy.
Yeah.
I gotta throw Denzel in it, but then like that's tough too because I just know like the business aspect of everything. You know, Denzel got to get top billing,
Right.
but in my mind, like I'm giving it to Giancarlo just because how I view him.
Of course.
Like so, but I mean, I know who Denzel. We all know who Denzel is though, so it ain't no knock to him.
Yeah.
But Giancarlo to me is probably one of the best. Just you ain't never got to worry about him. Like Denzel's like you know what you get with Denzel.
Yeah.
Giancarlo is like sometimes it's like, oh, he did that with that.
Yeah.
That's how he interpreted that line to do that.
Yeah.
And that's the type of stuff I love, man.
Yeah. He showed a lot of versatility in Breaking Bad. And I watched that series all
Mm-hmm.
times, but just watching Gus the evolution. I even went to the prequel, was the Better Call Saul. I
Mm-hmm.
seen
Mm-hmm.
the I'm like, this dude really nice with it. Dog.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Couldn't
definitely
even tell. Like it's just the accent that he brought. Like in real life, he's Hispanic. Like that's the fact. But then when I hear him speaking, it's like, yo, he really is Hispanic. Like that's how I feel about Idris Elba. Like, yo,
but you
he
remember
really from
he was still the English like the American English so well that when he was speaking his normal accent, like, why are you faking? Dog? Like,
right. What's going on?
I was
What
like,
you doing?
yeah. Shout out to the warm up, man. Now that we got warmed up with our rapid fire questions, before we get started, man, just let the people know how you and I know each other, my brother.
North Carolina, well, the illustrious North Carolina Central University. I
Sir.
was a I was a young pup in the theater world, and you came through off your, hey, yo, I've been here, done this type of vibe, and I'm here because I, you know, what I'm saying I love this acting stuff. I
Sir.
do want to Kirk, but I love this acting shit.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you came back, and we met through what Missing Throat.
Yep. Mr. Throat, yep.
Mm-hmm. And you showed the nigga something like you like to this day, like I'll speak very highly just off of how you came in
Mm,
and the work ethic you had.
yeah.
And you were the type of person that knew when to have fun, but also knew to go, yo, y'all, we got to get it together.
Mm,
Like, and I was younger, like at the time, like in theater, like we probably around the same age, but I was younger in theater,
right, right.
so I'm still like learning etiquette. Like I'm still learning, like you know, like stage right, stage left. Like I'm still learning that kind of stuff. So when you come in and you be like, yo, yeah, we could play around,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, this show got to get done.
Sir.
So that's how I remember meeting you, just
Hey,
knowing that you was about that action.
oh yeah, facts, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate that was real. And it's funny because we're gonna hear Deja, because I interviewed Deja as well. She was in there with us. But
Mr.
I
Throat.
was
Yep.
telling Deja, like, I got that script like 2 weeks before y'all was doing like two, and they were like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
back. I was like, yeah, we need to do this part. And I looked at the lines like, are you serious? Like you
No, you had so many lines.
I'm like, wow. But I understood that, because coming from Central and that theater department, it's like there's a certain grade of people you've seen go before you. Your
Mm-hmm.
Guild Liaisons, Dr. Tab, Wendell Tab, and Miss Pam. You've seen all these great people go before you. So it's like, I can't mess this up. Like they done this before
Mm-hmm.
I got here. And me coming back, it was like my opportunity to not only come back, but I wasn't coming there on like I'm the shit. It was more like, yep,
No,
I'm here, but listen, y'all have an
you
opportunity.
get to work.
Yeah, I'm like, you got an opportunity and you got to do the work because if you do the work, everyone else will remember you from the work. You can
Mm-hmm.
never say anything to anybody, but they be like, yo, remember when he did such and such? And that was always what I prided
Right.
like, yo, I'm gonna go ahead and do the work. But like you said, it be moments I might joke and kick around with y'all, but when it's time to get serious, like, all right, let's go. And
I know it's crazy. It's crazy. Like that's what I love about being at Central. Now graduating and all that, because I get the opportunity to do what I seen other people do. Like you mentioned Gil, right? Like I can't mention how much of an animal Gil is on stage. Like I can't say it enough. Like I can't like the first show I did with him was The Color Purple at Central.
mm-hmm.
And we all know he played old Mister. Like he played the granddad, right? And I didn't know him too well at the time. All I know was his name was on the call sheet. He signed by his name, but he wasn't at rehearsals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I knew that much.
Right.
So when it came down to it, was like 2 weeks before the show, he stepped in rehearsal to do his part. Mind you, we've been rehearsing already for like 2 to 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And every time we would get to his part, somebody else would play that part and just read it. And when he came through and the energy he brought, like Dartez will tell you to this day, like he was doing things on stage. You was just sitting, like I was sitting there in awe, like,
Yeah.
yo, he don't need a script. He ain't calling line. And if he is calling line, he doing it in character. Like, those types of habits that I built from watching guys like you, watching Steven come back, watching Gil, you know what I'm saying? Aunt Pam. Like, it's those type of habits that I had to create because you see, like I see it. Like,
Yes. Dog. I worked my first show was with Gil. It was the Wise Ones, and I only had a few lines, and I was supposed to be a character like 15, 16 years old. So I'm new to it as well. But
mhm,
when I first came in, I was kind of like, all right, excited. But then I instantly became a sponge. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna take in everything.
mhm,
People gonna know, everything. So Gil happened to be my stepfather in the show. So me and him had a strenuous type of relationship anyway. And the dynamic that we were able to build, because there was even a scene in there where he had to like whoop me, and even trying to choreograph that. And I had never been beat like, I mean, I'm on the ground like he got a
mhm,
belt like going in. And I remember stepping out to him saying, listen, dog, I want to take in, make it as real as possible. And man, we did countless hours outside of rehearsal, just going
mhm,
over the choreography, just building that chemistry to say, all right, if you do this line, I'm gonna go this way. And we were just able to
mhm,
just look at each other and know, okay, cool. All right, you going this way, I'm gonna give you extra couple seconds because you're doing a little bit more on your line. Okay, cool. I'm gonna fall back this. And just him and even Miss Pam, I learned so much from them that I when I
mhm.
gave back, I'm like, I gotta give this back. I watched these people come, like you said, when Gil come, he ready. It's
Yeah.
no playing. It's like, yo, you better be ready because if you on stage with him and you got to sing, if you play right,
Mhm.
he gonna destroy you on there. You gonna be looking
Yo,
like he will
uh,
destroy you, dog. He will destroy you. He
but that's all you got. That's all I asked for.
course.
Like, like three of my closest friends in the theater, Dartez, Malcolm, Yuri. One
Yep.
thing we all have in common is that we gonna work each other. Like, we gonna make each other work. Like, it ain't no BSing when we get to the stage. Like, no, we coming to get it. And it's competitive, but it's teammate competitive. It's like Brian showing Anthony Davis, yo, this how you do it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm bringing the best out of you so that we can get to the chip and win it. And that's how I like any conversations I have with people is that kind of like, look, energy is never lost nor destroyed. It is simply transferred from one host to the next. So if me and you are giving each other all this energy to each other and we receive it, give it back, receive it, give it back, where's that the energy gonna build? And then it's gonna create a whole nother monster.
Yeah.
But if I'm the worst person I ever work with is a person that I work with, I give them everything and they take it and use it for selfish gain. And it's like, no, dog, like we doing this together.
Yeah.
We in this scene together. Give it back. I'm gonna give it back to you because that's acting.
Right.
And
That's
the build that's then you get me in my bag right now. This is the beauty of it. Like like what I learned early on with the beauty of acting is to be on stage with somebody that is all the way 100 with you and you all the way 100 with them. Is no ifs, ands, or buts. I don't care. Like, yeah, the crowd is out there, but I'm not working for them.
right.
I'm out here putting this show. The playwright wrote this show. Costumes on this, costume designer put these costumes on. The director directed this show. Granted, we're doing it for an audience, but we have to be our best and we have to bring it out of each other.
Talk about it. Yes, sir.
Because this is, I mean, I could go forever, man. I could go forever because I
Thing that
love this acting
people
stuff.
understand, dog. Like what you put into it, that work that you're doing, when you step outside of those rehearsals and do things. Because after that show I did with Gil, I did probably 3 or 4 other shows with Gil. And one of the scenes we had in a summer show we had, we were like 2 alcoholic type characters. And I went from being
Hmm.
like this teenager kid to now like someone in their 50s or something.
Hmm.
So it was a growth for me. Like, okay, how can I make people believe? I don't have an older face. I ain't had no mustache. I didn't get no mustache until like 23. So I'm like, how can I really bring it out of the character? So I asked Gil, hey dog, hey man, you mind coming in to rehearsal a little bit early or staying a little bit later so we can work on this? I mean, we knew scenes so well, dog. Like we didn't even have to we can look and know where we are in the scene. Like
Hmm.
power to be anywhere, just look and I can start a line and know that you're gonna pick up. Because that
Right.
energy you said is going back and forth. It's just passing it back. Huh, okay, cool. I give it to you, take it back. And that's the beauty of, like you said, of acting. And it's something that I love. I know you love. You shout
Yeah,
out some
man.
old people, Dartez, right? Yuri, also my man Mal Green. So all of these people,
Yeah.
all all people that brought it. I got to work with them on for Black Boys. So
Mm-hmm.
I got to see that same energy. So I definitely understand what you're saying. But man, tell us though, for you, you talked about a little bit of art. Like, what does it mean for you to be an artist?
Man, it's my livelihood.
Mm.
It's like it's been times in my life, like I'm married now, two little girls. It's been times in my life where I had to buckle down and work jobs I didn't necessarily want to work.
Talk about.
But I understood the overall goal at that time.
Mm.
But I've sat there and just did job stuff.
Hmm.
Even it's been jobs that I like doing. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, I'm currently working at Amazon. I have no problem delivering packages. It's cool. I like it. But if I'm not in a show, I go through something mentally and I
Yes.
can't explain it. I
Mm.
have to be in a show. I have to be working on something. That's what this pandemic did. This pandemic put me in a place to say, all right, if I snatch this away, what else can you do to fulfill your artistry? Like to that artist part of your brain. What else outside of being in front of a camera or being on stage, outside of those things, what can you do?
Mm.
And I'm thankful for that. Granted, it's the circumstances are crazy, but you know what I'm saying? It brought out the writer in me. It brought out the just sitting back and just thinking of stuff. Like it just like I'm not thinking of working on character. I'm thinking about the whole aspect.
Mm.
How would this scene be set up?
Wow.
What clothes are they wearing? I'm writing it now. I'm transitioning into being more of a writer now. Thankfully to this pandemic.
Mm.
Because I wasn't writing like that. I have written things, but it wasn't seriously.
Right,
I
right,
was focused. I was focused on the next show. What's next? What show am I doing?
right.
So you take that away. It's like, all right, Chase, like what you gonna do? Because you need to do it. We already like I had a conversation with my wife. I just sat down with her like, yo, look, I'm working this job. I'm gonna stay working at this job, but now it's gonna be this time where I work this job, then go straight to rehearsal because I need to be at rehearsal. I need to be working on this. I need to be doing this.
Yes.
Like we had conversations like that.
Yeah.
And she took it on the chin and said, go ahead, do what you gotta do. I got it.
Yeah.
But like that's just a blessing in having her. But at the end of the day, I have to be doing theater. I have to.
Hey.
That's artist. That's me being that's all I'm not right if I'm not doing it.
Hey.
I'm not right.
You know, dog, you can have the most amazing job, the funniest job, people. That's something you get to some point and you just be like, dog, it just don't fit. Like something just don't fit right. It's just like, dog, I can't. It's like you
Right.
can't explain it, but I'm glad because me and my wife had that same conversation. Like, hey, I got it. Like, if I'm not doing something, you don't feel right. So it's funny you say the exact same thing. I've said like, I don't
Because
feel.
I don't know how else to put it either. Like I can't go, well, my right ear feel like it's about to fall off, or I can't feel my left toe. I don't know what's going on. I just don't feel right. I need to be in it. I need to be doing it. I didn't have no other words. I just say I don't feel right. I can't explain it to you deeply. I just don't feel right. But when I'm in a show, when I'm working on being in a show, I just feel perfect. Like as perfect as you get. It's like they say ain't nothing perfect. That's perfect to me. Perfect. Like man, look.
So let us know, man. How did you get into the arts, like with your acting? Because everyone has different stories about, hey, I always knew I wanted to do this, so I never took it serious, or somebody kind of guided me. What was your intro into the arts, man?
Uh it's 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 funny. My whole life I never was I was just a kid that liked to make people laugh growing up. But I was super into basketball. Like my big brother was a dog in basketball, and I wanted to be like my big brother growing up.
Mm.
But once I realized I was stopped growing at 5'8", I can't jump. I mean, shoot a little bit. But once I got there, it was kind of like, all right. I was at a point in my life where I'm like, what am I going to do? Because
Right.
I dedicated so much time to basketball. But then I realized that I can't. I saw people work harder than me in basketball, and I didn't like it. It was like, all right, I don't want to. That's not what I want to do. Obviously, I
Right.
graduated high school 07. Never been in the show, never did theater, none of that. I had a theater class in high school, but I failed it because I didn't take it seriously. That's God's honest truth. I failed the hell out of it. I laugh at it now because if I talk to that lady right now who taught it, she would go, Chase, you a theater major? You did theater? I knew you could do it. Like she would say, she's always telling me that you'll be so good at this. But I bullshitted the whole thing away. It was terrible. But I graduated from high school in 07. Started working at Rite Aid. The woman who is now my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time. Started working at Rite Aid. I hated Rite Aid. I switched over to Sam's Club. I worked at Rite Aid for a year. Then I worked at Sam's Club for a year. And I was not depressed, but I was super down. Like I don't call it depression because depression seemed much more realer than what I was. But it was something close to it because I was just like, yo, I don't know what I want to do in life. Like I never wanted to leave Philly. Like I was in Philly to stay, and I was an idiot because I would say, like people would say, yo, maybe you need to do. No, I'm not leaving Philly. I'm staying here. Everything I know was in Philadelphia. I'm not leaving. And it took a near death experience with a dude who just didn't have nothing else better to do but to show me his gun for me to be like, I gotta do something different, especially when I ain't felt like I brought anything on myself. So it was like he just pulled a gun out like and was like threatening my life, and I didn't even know him. Like I was just sitting at a bus stop. So it was kind of like I'm gonna sit here and rot in Philadelphia, not doing nothing. What am I gonna do? And my wife sat me down. She was like, look, I went on a college tour, historically black college tour with my after school program. I can let you know some schools if you're interested. And I'm like, school? I don't know if I want to go back to school. But then I thought about it more and more. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to give it a shot. She told me Central. She told me Tuskegee. And she told me Elizabeth City, I want to say. Whatever HBCUs over there. I think it's Elizabeth City. Yeah. And I didn't apply to Tuskegee because that was just extremely too far. I'm not going to Alabama. I thought North Carolina was too far. So I'm like, all right. I got accepted in the Central. And I got accepted in Elizabeth City. I came to visit Central with my mom, and I fell in love. It was summertime too. Nobody was really there, but I was just like, yo, this is college. Like, I want to do this. And when I filled out like the part where you say, yo, what you gonna major in, like all that, like, on the application, I just remember my theater teacher telling me, yo, you'll be good at this. I checked theater. Like that's like, and not having no knowledge of what I was getting myself into. I just checked it, like, because everything else on there, I didn't want to do. Right. I don't want to be in business. I mean, everything is business. I don't want to take business. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be in music. I did music in high school. I sucked at it. I didn't want to do that. Right. I'm gonna do theater. Let me check theater. I check theater, man. I get to Central, fall of 09. I'm walking through the communications building. I know this story long. I'm sorry, man.
Hey, it's your stage. I'm just a viewer right now.
All right. My bad. All right. You're right. All right. So I walk through the communications building. Dr. Ashabi, never forget it. She walked past me. She was like, "You a theater major?" I'm like, "Yeah." She said, "What's your name?" I'm like, "Chase." She's like, "Chase, yeah, you was on the list." She said, "Why you didn't come to the auditions?" What's an audition? What's that? And where are we having them? Why was I supposed to be there? I don't know. It's my first week in college. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, we had auditions for my show, Slap a Guy in the Face. You're a theater major. You're supposed to come to all the auditions.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I missed it. She's like, well, look, we still doing it. I set you up a time. You come through, and you audition, and do a monologue, and do all this stuff. And I'm like, all right. And let me Google a monologue. Like, what is this? I had no idea what I was doing, yo. So I do the audition, and I happened to go back and forth with Malcolm Green. So automatically, I'm like, all right, this could be fun because we was playing off each other how we did it.
Yeah,
and we ended up both getting our roles that we auditioned that she had us audition for. And then I'm still going through rehearsals. I'm fresh, man. I'm 20, but I'm fresh. I'm new booty. I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
The only thing I know was learn my lines. Like, if anything, I'm gonna have these lines. My character might stink, but if anything, I don't care if I get up there and say, "What are you doing?" and my face looks stupid. Right. I'm gonna have these lines. And then, man, I never forget. I remember going to Truett. I went to Irvin Truett, and I just had questions like, "Yo, Ashabi keep giving me notes and asking me to try different things." And telling me to do this, that, and the third. I don't know how to do that. And Truett was giving me game, like, look, you just got to try different things. It's acting. And he was just giving me a whole lot of game.
Right.
And then I remember the first show we did, like with a crowd out there. And we went through the whole thing. I sucked, but we went through the whole thing.
Mhm.
And then afterwards, the claps and everything. And then we met the crowd. And then I remember sitting in the dressing room looking in the mirror like, yeah, I want to do this.
Mm.
I want to do this.
Mm.
And ever since then, man, I've been an actor.
On.
Like it's like it was a bug that I was like, this is what I've been missing. This is what I want to do. Even though I sucked at the time. I'm gonna
Right.
keep saying that because I just watched that DVD not too long ago and I was terrible. But
Hey, them DVDs were humble.
the boy put me right in my place. Me and Shabby still laugh about it to this day. I'm like, Shabby, why you put me in that show? I was terrible. Why you do that? You should have dropped me.
So, man, anybody who knows me know that I always speak highly of, Central, man. And what it brought for me, the experiences, everything I got to learn. What do you feel like Central taught you about acting, man? Because that's what really for you kind of clicked in. What do you think they taught you just being there at Central, man?
Well, it definitely gave me the experience. Like it gave me the most experience I probably needed at the time. Like, I needed that experience
Hmm.
because doing shows over and over again, you find different intricacies and you find different ways to do things.
Right.
So it Central taught me the whole thing of how to develop my character.
Mm.
Like it gave me the like of course there was some pieces on the way that was outside of Central that I
Yeah.
eventually got to,
Right.
but Central gave me the tools to be like, this is how it goes. Rehearsal every day from 6 to whatever. Like it taught me to like being a professional. It taught like Central taught me everything. Like to the point where if I go outside of Central and I do a show outside of Central, they're looking at me like, yeah, he's serious about this. Because Central taught me.
Hey, tell them, man. Tell them.
Like it's just what it is. I mean, granted, I could have dicked around and been a class clown like I grew up,
Right.
but when it came to acting, man, it was just like Shabby, Truett, Hinton, Dr. Austin, like all them people. They didn't play when it came to it, and it was like if you're gonna be playing around, we can find somebody else.
Hey, they
So
let you know in a heartbeat, like we
yeah,
you gonna do it or not? And
right,
Austin was a huge influence on me as well because I used to always
humongous.
go in his office and talk to him, and he'd be like, "Listen, man, listen. He just give it to me straight, and I was a straight
Mhm.
person. Like, I don't need no fluff to tell me, hey, this is what you expect, this is what you need. And he's the really reason I even went to grad school, man. So shout out to him, may he forever rest in peace, man, for everything he's done.
Yes,
But not only me, but everybody. Anybody he was around, you got something from.
man.
There wasn't a time I didn't speak to Dr. Austin and got some free game. Whether I
Right.
want or not, he was going to tell.
Right. And even if he was joking on you and he was giving you some good jokes and you got to sit there and take it, you learning something. And sometimes it was just stuff he didn't say.
Yes.
Sometimes he would come sit down and watch my monologue, which put a lot of pressure, like how highly I think of Doc Austin, how highly I think of Shabby, how highly I think of Truett,
Mhm.
Karen Brock, how high I think of them. When they're sitting there watching my monologue, it's the things they don't say that I eat up the most. It's kind of like if they don't say nothing, you're probably doing better than you think.
Yes. Miss Bro, when I
Like,
got that notepad out, boy, you be like, oh,
oh my God.
come
And
on.
she handed it to somebody else before she leave. Huh? Make sure he gets this. And bounce.
Yeah, you see that
Oh,
notepad, you be like, come on, Miss Bro.
no,
Oh,
I could do a monologue in front of anybody if I'm doing a monologue in front of them. I don't care if Denzel in the audience. You gonna see this monologue, kid. You gonna get this monologue, dog. It's those specific 4 people
yeah.
that when they out there, they just do something to me. Like I'm
But they
like it's nerve wracking.
and that's the everyone that
Mm-hmm.
man, they know that like they just said the same thing. Like Central really taught you about how to do everything. There was not one thing where we were one dimensional as artists. They let you do everything.
Mm-hmm.
It showed you. So when you, like you said, when you got outside of Central, you know how to do everything because they taught you
Mm-hmm.
how to build your character, set everything up, do your lights, do your sound, run the house, be a stage manager, like
Mm-hmm.
behind the background, stage hand, like every aspect of it you got. And that's
And
special.
it was hard, and it was good, like hard on you in a good way. Like acting 3, oh no, you're not getting to this until you pass this audition process.
Yep.
Period. And we will not let you in until you do the work.
Yeah.
Like that's the type of stuff I needed. I didn't need somebody that was just going, let him get.
Yeah, you can
I
go
I couldn't do nothing with that. What would I do with that?
earn everything.
What do I do with that? I gotta earn this stuff. And when I'm coming through, it's nothing but it's a whole lot of men in the theater department, and we all going at each other. We're trying to get roles. Like that's what we was doing. So it's like
Yeah, don't
it,
you
it bring the best out
we're gonna eat.
you.
You talking about- oh, you don't know your monologue? Okay, don't worry about it.
Yo, that's the real estate. Matter of fact, quick story about that. You said for black boys, right?
Yeah.
You like y'all did it. You did it. You went to Winston Salem, right?
Yeah,
But I did it. I did it with Central at Central. Like when we put it up to take it before we took it there.
mhm.
And the realest thing that ever happened, I remember we were sitting in rehearsal. It was the first week, no lie. And you know, first week is usually you get your blocking, you write your blocking down on your paper, you got your script,
Mhm.
blase blah, and you going through the process
Right,
to eventually. Because me personally, I'm much more of a. I learn my lines through blocking. I need to know what I'm doing.
right.
So if you're telling me I'm doing this at this time, I associate my words with what I'm doing,
Right.
and it gives my like business and everything. Like that's just how I. That's my learning process.
Mhm.
At the time, I didn't know that, but that's how I learned best. I'll never forget the first week we walking in there and we just running through the first act. Just, you know what I'm saying? It's bones. Like we got all our blocking and everything and we just running through it. I'll never forget Dartez, punk ass Dartez Wright walks on stage without his script. So me, Malcolm, and Yuri, we looking at each other like, hey yo, black,
You.
what's up? You good? You know your lines? He like, nah, I don't know him. I'm just trying. I want to curse so bad. This nigga get on there and go ham with his monologue. Like I'm talking, no calling for line, nothing. So I'm automatically like, oh hell no, nope. I bet you next rehearsal I got at least both. All right, we gonna do. All right, that's how you want to do it. All right, I took it as a shot. Like no, all right. I don't need this script no more either. I know what I'm doing now. I'm learning. I went back to my dorm, boy. I studied them lines. I said I'm not gonna be no weak link. If anything, we all gonna be a strong link because
Let's go.
it ain't gonna be no weak ones in this, and it ain't gonna come from me if it is. I know, man. We talk about that to this day. Everybody had the same reaction, like, hell no,
Right.
no, we get into it. All right, that's how we rock it. That's how we rock it. Oh no, I'm not looking bad. And I was taught that at Central, though. Like that's it. That it got a special place in my heart because there's some places I go to, and if I know my lines, people look at me and go, "Well, Chase knows his lines, but my process is my process." And I go, "Well, I mean, you right. That's your process." But I'm letting you know, I'm coming to step on your neck, though. It's going to be some furniture move around here.
All day, man. And I luckily Shabby knew of me because Shabby got there after I had left,
Mhm.
but she knew of me, and so she asked me. She was like, "Hey, we doing this show. Would you be interested to do a show for Central? Hell yeah, any and every time I will do it."
The National Black.
Yes, I'm like, you know how long I've been wanting to go to National Black Theater Festival? Yes, and
I
my
cried.
thing is like, yo, I got this opportunity for it. I'm sorry you couldn't go, but hey, I was
Yeah,
fortunate.
no. That's not. It ain't on you.
Yeah, but still, man.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, I saw the show when you did it at Central. I saw it when y'all did it. I happened to come to North Carolina, and I was like, you know what? I'm here for the weekend, and the show was going on. I went there. Ms. Mac was like, "Oh yeah, you coming?" I'm like, "Of course." I sat in that joint. I was sitting right there in the front. I'm like, I turned around. I remember like, yeah, dang, these motherfuckers is acting out here. What? Every one of y'all, man, from the female monologues when they did that, fellow girls, y'all, I was just like in awe. Like, yo,
Mhm.
Central
That's
is.
my favorite show. That's my favorite show that I ever done.
It
To this
was.
day, that and I did Porgy and Bess.
I love to see everybody had a monologue, and like you said, it was a competitive. When we were doing the national back, it was competitive. We had Steven, we had dang on
Yeah.
Green, we had Ron. So everyone is like trying to get their monologues together. Like, nah, you're not.
Mhm.
Okay, you did that. All right, I got something for you next one.
And then when we all get together in scenes where we don't got monologues, but we just talking to each other, then you get to build off of other people. Man, that show was perfect for me. It was like to this day, like we talk about that show, we want to do it again. Like
Oh no,
even if it's not the woman counterpart, we want to do it again. Like that show taught me so much about myself, how
yeah,
deep that show was. We
that,
used to just sit in the theater and talk. We used to just sit in the theater And it would start off, all right, your monologue. Let's break down my monologue. Let's break down your monologue. Let's go bar for bar. What y'all think he's talking about? And then it would turn into us talking about aliens. Like, we used to sit there till 3, 4 in the morning, yo.
Facts.
Like, that's how I was brought into theater. That was my second show.
Yeah.
That's how I was brought into theater. Like, I wasn't brought into theater just learning lines. I was brought into theaters. All right, we gotta break this script down and dissect it because we don't understand it.
Building, dog.
And
Building.
even if we do understand it, what do you think about it? What are your thoughts? Because all right, I have a different understanding than you. Now I got your perspective. Oh, bet I could play it like this. Like that's how I was brought into theater. So that's what made me absolutely fall in love with it.
No.
And it was crazy because when y'all took it to National Black, my wife was pregnant and she was due in August, and the show was going up in August. So it was like I was just like, I ain't gonna be able to do it. But I moved back to Philly and everything. I took a year off from school. Like that was like almost the worst time of my life because I couldn't act and I was just working. Like it was just what it was because I had to do it.
Yeah.
I had messed up in school and all that. Like I did all that. I said I'm going back to Philly for 1 year. And I'm coming back and I'm on my A game. And that taught me even more about acting. Like, it was just like, I want to do this. And this was before the conversation I had with my wife, but it was like, I'm going to take it way more seriously than I did even while I was there.
Nice.
Like, it's not just for fun no more.
Yes.
It's for fulfillment.
It's real. So you talked about your roles that you've done. Like, what is your process when you prepare for a role? Because some people have like I study this, or they read a certain thing or they practice. Like, what is your process when you're preparing for a role?
Man, I made that. Like I said, when I'm learning lines, blocking helps me learn my lines. But repetition is something that I use all the time. Like I repeat, but I change different ways I do it. Like if I'm saying a line to you and I go, my name is Chase Rivers, I would go, my name Chase Rivers. Yo, my name Chase Rivers, yo. Like I would do it different ways every time, and every time I will find a different way. Every time I find a different way, I will find a different way to like it. And I will go, all right, I like that. I'm gonna keep that, or I'm gonna keep that. And it's just repetition. Like they'll tell you, I will come in before rehearsal and by myself, I will walk through my scenes, saying my lines like people are in there, just build it. Like even after rehearsal, all right, I'll lock up, y'all go ahead. Like I have to do this repeatedly because that's how I prepare. Like it's just I drill it into my brain. Like I said, I come from basketball. I got better at basketball by keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah,
repetition. So that, when it comes to
Misanthrope, I remember you doing the lines because I remember reading the script and kind of like, this character may be funny. When you did it, I was like, dang, I didn't even see it from that angle. Like you had a whole nother way that you went about it from what anyone had thought from the script. And I thought that was interesting. Like, dang, okay, you went a completely different way with your character. And I think it threw so many people off. If you knew the show or, read Moliere before, I'm like, okay, I like my man. I like it. I like it. But my bad.
Because just to piggyback off that, the main thing I'm trying to do is find the character. And I'm trying to be true to the character. Because if I go up there being me, like, because I could read the script any day of the week and I could read it from my perspective. But, you know what I'm saying? The writer didn't write it from my perspective. Right. The writer wrote it from theirs. So if I'm always thinking from my perspective, that's why I always ask questions with people I'm acting with. Yo, how do you feel about that line? What do you think could be different? How do you like? And I take it with a grain of salt. Like if sometimes somebody say, "Well, I think you should do it this way," and they throw some off the wall shit out, and then I just be like, "All right, well, thank you, I appreciate that. I'll think about that." You know what I'm saying? And I'll be sincere, but then I walk away and go, "I'm not gonna do that." But I mean, I appreciate them actually giving me something. Because some people go, "Man, do what you do. Go ahead, get on my face." Like I work with people like that too. Like it's like
we've all
like
they don't want
they got their process.
Right.
What you want me to do? Like, I had some people I said, "Yo, you want to read lines?" I don't learn lines. I go by feeling. I gotta feel it. All right, bet. That's a bet. But just make sure you say that Q line for me when I come in because I need that.
Make sure
like
that added. You trying to figure out, is that my cue? Is that what you're trying to do?
Right. Like, don't have me confused. But then even that, it'll be like, all right, we don't got to read lines, but let's run the scene.
Yeah.
Because I gotta build off you. We in the same scene together. So it's always a way around it. But me personally, man, is repetition. That's the main thing I use. Repetition. Repetition, repetition, repetition. That's is what I do. I have to do it. And I build my character through that.
Man. So I of course I done my research on you, man. I know you for a little bit, but I also wanted to step outside to see, check up on you, man. So I saw this show about I didn't see the show, but I heard and read articles about this show you did, The Boys Next Door. Uh, that show, I've read about it, I saw articles, and I'm like, yo, but for you to take a role like that, and with that, it was what, four characters, right? It was four characters in that one, and they were mentally impaired, right?
hmm It
And
was 5 characters
wow,
total. But it was more, but it was 5 main characters.
yeah,
4 of them stayed in a mental, like not a mental, but a halfway house,
yeah,
and they had 1 caretaker. So it's pretty much told from the caretaker's point of view
yeah.
of taking care of these 4 people.
Even prepare for a role like that, right? Because it's not a traditional role, right?
At all.
The role you had. How did you prepare for that role? Just go about just everything, putting that role together. Talk to us about that, man.
Well, in that instance, I had to play well, I'm gonna use what this how the script described him, a mentally retarded person
Mhm.
who had the mind of I think a 3-year-old, between a 3-year-old and a mop, like he said it in the script. I have to, like, because it's a moment in the script where he breaks character, and he's being able to articulate his mind
Mhm.
as a person that's not mentally retarded. Like, and he's articulating how he feels and how he is what he is. So I'm gonna take from the script a mentally retarded person.
Mhm.
I'm not mentally retarded, Jay Weeks. At least I like to consider myself not.
Right.
So to get ready for that, I do have a cousin who was diagnosed.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I took from her. I watched a lot of real footage from people considered mentally retarded, or you know what I'm saying, or the script would consider mentally retarded.
Right. Right. Right.
Because one thing I did not want to do is make a mockery
Mm.
of this character, because it's so easy to do. It's so easy to just play the comic, like just play the just
Surface.
funny of it.
Yeah, the surface of.
It's so easy.
Mhm.
It's so easy to do that. But this person is a real person. And like I said, repetition, repetition. I tried many different ways. I've had conversations with the director,
Mhm.
like just how do you view it? Like what do you think? And luckily for me, he never really gave me any negative feedback.
Mm.
Like rarely. Outside of cut my beard because I was having a hard time at the time. Like, I don't want to cut it, but I knew I was gonna cut it eventually. I was just giving him a hard time.
Right.
But I mean, it was super super tough to do, but it was one of my most fulfilling roles because I do feel like I nailed it, and I don't feel that way about a lot. Like I really don't.
Mm.
But it is definitely something that I feel like I want to do again,
Yeah.
and I want to do it in North Carolina with like black people and like because I was out there in Nebraska,
Yeah.
and to be honest, it was like me and like 2 other black people in the whole area I was in. So it was like, but it was a great time I had in Nebraska. Like they were great people. They treated me wonderfully.
Mhm.
And just to be able to be a part of that show, yo, like when I first got the script, I was like, oh, this is real. Like I'm gonna have to do my homework. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, I've read about it, man. I'm like, wow, because I've always looked at like, a lot of time when people have this perception of what an actor is, and a lot of times those people try to go for easy roles. They like roles that is just like
hmm
them, or oh yeah, I play sports. I would love to do a role with somebody's a sports figure. That's easy. And sometimes people want those easy fixes, but for you to take a role that's like that, that is you got to do your work. You can't
hmm
fludge that up and just pretend. Like you got to really go into develop who's this person, develop that character analysis and all those different things, man. So kudos to you for taking it. And everything I read about it, I mean, everyone spoke highly of just the play itself. So, shout out to you for putting that work to really try to say who is this person? Who's my character?
Right.
That's
Because
huge.
I got to do the character justice at the end of the day, and I'm gonna feel better about it if I do that. Like if I do play it was funny. The show was funny. Like I'm not going to sit here and say it was just a whole serious show. The show was funny. The character itself was funny, but I
Mm,
wasn't playing the comedy.
Mm,
I was trying my damnness to be genuine
mm.
because if it's genuine, if it's funny, people gonna laugh. If it's not funny, people not gonna laugh.
Facts. Yeah.
So it's just what it is. I didn't want to be stuck on. No, I'm gonna make them laugh at this.
Right. Because
No,
you know
I'm gonna make them be
making them
serious.
laugh, and you and that John don't laugh, you stuck in no man's land now. Now you like,
Now
dang,
you thinking.
recover from this. You thinking
Hmm.
you done
Hmm.
got out of your character, you got out of your zone,
Hmm.
trying to pick up. And I always, even with me being a theater, teaching, acting coach now, I always tell my students, like, forget all the trying to pay for emotions. Tell the story. If you can tell the story and be honest to the character, everyone else they can figure out a point where they can connect with that character. But if you try to
Hmm.
go for, at this part I feel like it's sad, so let me be sad, and then you go up
Hmm.
and try to be sad, and then the audience looking at you like, I don't like that wasn't
Or
sad,
they might laugh.
right? And then you really thrown up like, hold on, how did they laugh at that? You never know
Hmm.
the audience, dog. Like you try to play for them, somebody might die, you be like, and they dying laughing, and now you out there like, oh no, I wasn't expecting that.
Because you don't know where they coming from. That's probably how they deal with trauma, by laughing.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
probably something that they experience. So for them to get through that currently is to laugh about it.
yeah.
And you making it about you and not the character.
Mm.
At the end of the day, like I want to do this show again. Like that's on my top. Like I said, for Black boys, Porgy and Bess. I probably wouldn't do Porgy and Bess again, but it's just one of my favorite shows.
Mm.
Boys Next Door is something I want to do again because it's so deep. Like you learn so much from it, and then you learn that like even though they are considered like mentally retarded or whatever they wanted to call it, they are real people with real feelings.
Yeah.
They're not out here for your enjoyment.
Mhm.
They're out here living just like you,
Every day. Right.
and every day.
Right.
So if
Facts.
you look at every character like that,
Talk about
you
it.
gonna create it's you 3D. You creating characters that's 3-4D. Like you got to though, because if you just 1D, dog, it's easy to see through that.
Next. We go to the next one, dog. We ain't want to waste our time with somebody just trying to not try to do the work.
Right.
So you talked about some of the worlds you enjoyed and some of the, good things you had. But what are some of the challenges, man, you face with being an actor? It's a very tough industry and a tough business, man. It's a tough career because everyone has these perceptions of what acting is and what it means to be an actor. But what are some of those challenges, man, that you face with just being an actor?
The always always searching. Like
Mm,
for one, people that's always 9 to 5, like people that got 9 to 5, it's pretty much the same thing every day. Like,
routine.
and you know what you got to do. The routine is like the routine of an actor. Getting a role, it's like, oh, all right, I don't got nothing. All right, I didn't get this. I didn't get cast in this. All right, I got to move on to the next.
Right.
So that's one of the things. But I enjoy that. But one of the toughest things for me as an actor is to play a character that's like me.
Mm.
Like you mentioned, like people take that as easy. That's one of the toughest things for me. Like I like going into a character and going, oh yeah, he ain't nothing like me. I get to be totally different.
Right.
I get to create different things to make myself do. But
Mhm.
I did you ever heard of the show Hurt Village?
Mhm.
I played the character Cornbread. And if I was a drug dealer, Jay, like if I was a drug dealer, I'd have been Cornbread. Like
Mm.
that's the only difference that I view
Wow.
in Cornbread. Like is that he sold drugs and I don't. But
Wow.
everything, like reading the script, is like he was always trying to be funny, always looking at the light, like the brighter side of things.
Mm.
Like that's me. So I'm sitting there like, all right, how do I make him Cornbread if I feel like everything he's doing is something I do?
Mm.
That's one of the toughest things for me because then I don't feel like I'm acting, or not. I don't feel like I'm acting. I don't feel like I'm working.
Ooh.
I don't feel like I'm doing the work because a lot of the work that I put into Cornbread was characteristics from me that I use in my everyday life.
Mm. Mm.
So it's like that's one of the toughest things. Another thing that I'm currently focused, like my main focus now is just getting weight down, like dropping weight. Cause it's like one thing about me, like I'm a heavy dude. I'm a big dude. I wasn't always big, but I'm big now.
Mhm.
And one of the toughest things now is getting painted into that corner of just being a big actor. Like big, like that's a stereotype. Like
Yeah.
that's like you get typecasted, you that big guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we gonna make you the fat guy that's funny. Like a lot of times, like that's the road that people want me to be. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I like working with people that see like you could do all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, just go ahead and do it. So one of the things I'm to just totally take that out and to just be healthy in life. I'm dropping weight. Like, I'm working towards dropping weight. That's one of the main reasons why I love working on Amazon. I'm always moving now. I'm always delivering packages. I'm always going up steps, down steps. Like the main thing, like look, that's harder than me playing a character that's like me, like
Mm.
dropping weight. Like it's just how it is. Even though I come from sports, I know how to lose weight. Dog. I know how to do it.
Right.
But just getting out of the routine of my everyday life
Right.
to add workout
Mm.
and put workout into my routine of life, it's just been challenging. It's just been super tough. But I'm getting it. I'm doing it. I'm doing the work.
Hey, hey, shout out to you, man, for making that lifestyle change, man. It's important to see it, and
Yeah.
make that change. It can be challenging, but the fact that you acknowledge it, like, listen, I know it's gonna be rough. The same way you look at it,
Mhm.
bro. I know it's gonna be difficult, but when you willing to do the work, man, you know it's gonna happen, man. So salute to you on your journey, man. Continue.
Appreciate it. And pray for my wife because she cooked real good. And
Oh, I she probably
yeah,
put all
that's
your favorites.
oh my God.
You like, oh,
I did it. I don't make it no better. Yo, make some fried chicken tonight. Yeah, put some in.
yeah, yeah, a
I
little,
know. I know. I'm not supposed to eat it. One time. Let me
little
just
bit.
get a little bite.
That's fact.
Yeah.
That's dope, man. I'm glad you're making those changes, man. For real though. But man, we know that no success comes without haters, doubters, naysayers, and even non-believers, man. So have you had any type of encounters or experiences where you had people that maybe not hated, but maybe didn't believe or kind of doubted your ability or just the career path? Because being an actor is not easy at all. Have you had anyone
Mhm.
kind of been a doubter or non-believer as it relates to just choosing a career in acting?
Not nobody immediately close to me. Like everybody, all the people that's close to me when I told them, "Yo, I'm gonna be an actor," they all like my mom, brother, sister.
Right.
Like I got a real close, small family. Like it was me before, like my niece who was older than me, my older sister, my older brother, and my mom. We all
Mhm,
grew up in the same house, so those are really the ones that really get it. They the like I got cousins and stuff. I love them, you know what I'm saying? But they not my immediate.
mhm.
So all my immediate family, when I told them, "Yo, I want to be an actor," they're like, "Oh, bet. What can we do to help? What you need?
That's dope.
Let's do it." So the people that I care about, who like their opinion, nah, I never had nobody doubt me
Mhm,
openly, but I have had like casting directors or like people like that say, like I got casted for Audrey too in Little Shop of Horrors.
mhm,
The first time I did it was at Central, and the director told me, "Hey, I know like he did the casting before like winter break.
mhm,
So I got casted in it before winter break. But then when I came back from winter break, when we were starting to do rehearsals and everything, I was told that I was going to be an understudy instead because he had saw a show on
mhm,
which he thought the person that he saw could be the better Audrey too, the better plant.
mm.
And I just took it super competitive. Like I ain't go, huh? Why? I don't want to do this. Like because that's just a terrible way to be. I was
Alright.
just like, oh, bet that's what you think. I looked at it as I hope this motherfucker bring it
'Cause I'm
at
going
rehearsal, because I promise you I'm gonna bring it. Cause you just slapped me in the face. Like you gave me the role and took it away and said you gonna make me an understudy. I had those type of things, but those usually always
Is
pan
that
out.
what it you?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It was that.
that sound like a hitting move.
No, it ain't hitting got a lot of positive things
Oh
to
no,
say
he
about
he
me.
good, man. But I
And
remember with Hinton, dog. I'll never forget I done the show with him. I can't remember the show. But we were doing a show at Central, and Hinton brought in professional actors. And he pretty much told us straight up, like, they're serious, they're much better than you guys, blah, blah, blah. And
oh,
it's gonna be this, man. I had a meeting with
that
him
is
about it.
that crazy. That is so hitting.
I said, dog, listen, we not about this our drink right here. This our shit right here. We not about to allow somebody to come into where this is our home, dog. We not about to let them come in here and try to stunt. So we literally was like divided. It was like the professional quote unquote and the people, the students. And man, I remember this like, nah, we not about to let y'all come in here like that. And I had that same mentality, like, y'all can come in here, but you better be
Yeah,
on.
it ain't personal.
Yeah, you better be on your A game. So
It ain't personal to you. I mean, I'm gonna kick your ass at this
all
shit
day.
because this is just how I prepare. But it ain't kid. It's just you know what I'm saying. It's between somebody else, man. You just happen to be collateral damage at the end of the day.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
what ended up happening was me getting the role
Mhm,
and him telling the guy who was professional at the time, he was getting paid to act in the area, and I
mhm.
was still a newbie.
Right.
And he told the guy, "Hey, I'm gonna let Chase. You be the understanding." And the dude bounced. Like he was just like, "Oh, all right, you gonna bring me here for this? I'm gonna leave." And I was like, "That's just the difference between me and a lot of people. If somebody come to me with some news that I'm not necessarily looking forward to, instead of just giving up, I'm gonna go. All right, I'm gonna either change your mind or I'm gonna at least work. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna work.
That's good attitude.
Period. I'm gonna work.
That's dope. That's
Because
dope.
like, what am I? What else? I'm not. I'm gonna do. Go home and cry in a corner? No,
Why me?
yeah, come on, man. Like, no, we here to work, baby. Ain't nothing given.
Everything earned,
Ain't
man.
nothing given, man.
I teach my kids, ain't nothing given. You better earn everything. Because when you leave this house, no one is going to give you anything. So you got to earn everything. You
Hmm.
gotta respect early. So dope, man. So let me talk to you about this more immediately, man. I think it's Easy Days Entertainment, Wasteland series.
Yeah, yeah.
Talk to us about how
Hmm.
that opportunity came about, man. Seeing you in that. How did
It was right place, right time for me. I was looking to be into. I was looking to do more screen. Like I was looking to do more film
okay.
because I was just stage. I did all stage at that time. Like it was just. I mean, I had did some films, but they weren't like films out, and they really. It was few and far between.
Yeah.
So I was actively looking to be in more film.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that my man's Montel, who went to Central too, but he was after me.
Mhm.
He had got casted with him through somebody else with this guy. His name Steph, the director.
Okay.
All around great guy,
Right.
like extremely hard worker. But I didn't know it at the time. But they linked, and he asked him, "Yo, I need another person for this." You know what I'm saying, to shoot this scene. And my man's immediately thought of me, hit me up, "Yo, Chase." You know what I'm saying? My man Steph, he shoot this, that, and the third. You want to be in it, this, that, and the third? I'm like, hell yeah. I
Oh.
want to do this shit anyway. So it was just like right place, right time.
Mm,
Like it was just like like it was just off of granted it was off of history because my man's know me.
mhm.
Like he know I'm gonna put in the work. So it was like I got somebody perfect. My man Chase, he'll do it. And then that started like I'm still working with Steph to this day. Like I'm like
That's dope. That's
mhm,
dope. Man. Hey, your work though, your work ethic spoke for itself. So they knew that you was gonna
yeah.
put in work. So hey, y'all kids out there listening, do your work. Your work gonna speak for itself, man. So tell us, man, what have you discovered, man? Because you're not an amateur, you're a professional actor now, real on, full flesh, straight up professional actor. What is something you discovered, man, just about the entertainment industry since you're now a professional actor? You know, because before you was essential, you was acting, but you weren't like considered a
Mhm,
professional actor. So what are some of the things you
mhm.
discovered now just being a professional actor?
My process isn't everybody's process.
Mm,
That's one of the things that I struggle with mostly early on. Like
okay.
the way I go, like we touched on it earlier, the way I go about things may not necessarily be how somebody else goes about things. Or some directors that I've worked with don't do the same things that other directors do, like that I previously worked with. So it's like, all right, I gotta switch up. I gotta do this. I got like it's been constant a constant work because it's a constant like it's ever changing how I go about it because everybody is different, and that's what I've learned and what I'm continuing to learn is everybody is different. Like it's no same anything.
Yeah.
Granted, a lot of the directors and stuff that I've worked with and other people that I've worked with value hard work.
Mhm.
So that's a positive thing. But
Mm.
the way you go about that hard work, everything is different. So everything is like a new thing. And I early on I had a hard time with it because I would try to relive past experiences through
Oh,
new projects. And
oh,
it was super tough for me. And I had to learn to let that go and
mm,
treat this new project as what it is, new,
mm.
and get new memories and stuff like that. But I would just try to you know
Bring
what I'm saying? Like, yeah, yeah. And it was just wasn't good. Then I would feel let down because I would go, well, this wasn't like
What?
Damn.
It might have been a good
Yeah.
one like the other one, man. Oh, we was
Yeah. Yeah. I'm learning, man. I'm learning that too, man. But I mean, like you said, I'm a professional actor, so it comes with the territory, baby. And you getting paid to do this stuff, we not looked at as just, you know what I'm saying? Like we work for hire. We not looked at as we
right.
gonna be here forever. Like we work. Oh, you're not working? Go ahead, get. I'm gonna find somebody that is.
Yeah. You know
So,
we only consider it as good as our next show. You know, like that's real.
mhm,
Like, hey, you didn't
word,
what you doing next? What else you doing? So that's just the world we live.
word.
Like you said, it just comes with the territory, man. And then now over the summer, you've took the time to do some other things, man. The summer, you now are a co-host of a dope podcast called Brother from Another Man. You know, I got my podcast Back to the Basics, man. When I seen you post,
Black.
let me follow that. Check out, man. Heard some dope episodes, some good content, man. So how is that? Because you're an actor, but not only that, you're an artist. So, do you feel like your podcast has enhanced your craft as it relates to just the arts and just acting? Because when I look at mine, I'm like, this is still kind of acting, but just in a different form for it. Do
Yeah.
you are like that, or is it one of those things where it's just completely separate? Like the podcast doing that is that, and the acting is this.
Well, you can't separate them because it's me at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah,
And if somebody Google's Chase, if somebody were to get into, like you said, like you pay attention to me, you did a little research, my podcast popped up.
yep.
So I can't separate that. Like it's a part of me.
Right, right.
Granted, I say some things on there that I may either want to take back or I should watch what I'm saying a lot of times. But I mean, it's me. I'm not perfect, and the podcast allows me to talk and speak on things currently.
Hmm.
So, and I always do that anyway.
Yeah,
We call it barbershop talk. So if that's what I'm doing, like my podcast is, and I happen to be doing it with three of my closest friends,
yeah,
and we all got different aspects on life.
yeah.
So the main reason is to gain understanding.
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, like I said, if I'm always coming from my perspective, then I'm always going to be jaded. It's always going to be one sided.
Ooh.
So doing this podcast has helped me with three other perspectives.
Mm.
We argue a lot on there because we may feel like the other perspective is wrong or not right.
Right, that's
So
true.
it's like we're gonna get it. We get and then at the end, all right, we're gonna agree to disagree. Even though one of my co-hosts don't believe in agreeing to disagree, but that's another story. There's something wrong with him. But but the podcast is allowing me to learn.
Mm.
And granted, it's entertainment. We're trying to entertain, but at the end of the day, it's helping me learn because not everybody think like me, and I
Mm.
don't think like everybody.
Right.
So I need those other perspectives just to gain understanding because that's at the end of the day, I feel like we put on here love. And sometimes I can love something that I don't understand, but at the end of the day, I want to understand it.
Yeah, yeah. True.
I mean, I understand it's stuff I'm not gonna get, but
Facts.
everything I'm doing, I'm trying to understand, man. I'm a people watcher.
Hmm.
Like I watch people.
Hmm.
Like I did that before I became an actor, and even as an actor, I use that because it's like you see people do things that you don't ever do, but it's just their tick. Like it's just what they do, and you be like, all right, well, I'm taking that, I'm using that for a character. Like it's just that kind of thing with me, man.
Got to use everything, every aspect of
Yeah,
how we look, see, hear, different things people say. All of those are different aspects. But like I said, I've definitely checked out a few of your episodes on there, man. When I first seen it, I'm like, oh, that's dope. You know, having a podcast now is a great platform for you, like you said, to have those barbershop type conversations, open dialogue. And you know, a lot of times it does get that understanding. Because a lot of times you have this perspective, and sometimes you don't even realize some of the views that you have on things until you start to say it out loud, and then you're like, "Well, where did this come from? Why do I think like?"
and why did I? Yeah, like well, I say that a lot. Like why I
Like,
listen to myself back. I go,
this
what
was
is wrong with me?
there's a lot of moves that you have like, well, why do I think like that? And it kind of makes you tap into okay, everybody's background kind of shapes their views and perceptions and how they view things and perspective.
Hmm.
But when you can, like you said, look at multiple ones, it's like, okay, well, you view this because of this. Well, I don't because of this right here. And you can connect those dots like, oh,
Hmm.
now it makes sense. So it's definitely a freeing
Right.
experience having that
It's
open
therapeutic.
It's very much so. Very much so. And
Yeah,
there's so much going on. There's so much content to talk about. But I think the biggest takeaway I have from your pod is that y'all legit are brothers. It's not no fake. It's not like some of y'all just kind of put together like, yeah, we
yeah,
all boys. Like you can tell y'all genuinely have a relationship. And this day and age,
yeah. Because we could argue and come back. We could argue and come back and talk about it.
oh
It
yeah,
ain't over after argument.
yeah, it's real,
Yeah,
it's real. So, man, just from that perspective, man, from one podcast host to the next, man, I salute y'all, bro. Hey, and keep
man.
doing y'all.
Same to you.
Yeah, definitely, man. But man, let me talk about this, man. We've made it to another year, 2021. 2020 was a year for a whole lot of reasons, man.
Mm.
As an artist, it has affected, our industry, our community I mean, very much so. So talk to us about how you're making adjustments or what's going on as far as with you, how COVID has affected you as just being an artist, my man.
Well, yeah, yeah, man. It affected all of us as artists because it took away something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it straight up said, no, you can't do this right now. So like I said before, like I've been doing a lot more writing, a lot more monologue work, a
Mm,
lot more stuff that I could just do in the closet of my house. Like I
mm,
don't gotta be outside to do it. I don't gotta be around other people to do it. I'm totally focusing on what I can control, which
mm.
I rarely ever do, to be honest. Before this, like I said, that's why I say it helped me in
Yeah.
that aspect because it allowed me to do the podcast. Like that's probably number one thing that came out of it. It allowed me to write. It
Mm,
allowed me to do all the things that I was not focusing on
yeah.
because I was always doing something.
Mm,
So when it sits you down, granted, I'm an essential worker, so I'm still working. I still got my 9 to 5,
mhm,
but it still sat me down on my free time
mm.
because in my free time I would be doing something.
Right.
So since it sat me down, man, it's just a whole lot of self reflection, man. My marriage has got better. My
Mm.
relationship with my children has gotten stronger because I'm there. I'm here.
Yeah.
And that's top two and it ain't two.
Mhm.
My relationship with them is everything. My wife and my kids. So that's allowed me to do that. And I never. I mean, I was there. I'm a dad. I didn't have my dad growing up, so I always thought like it's crazy. I just had this conversation with somebody who had a father who didn't have a father, but she's grown now. She was just telling me like my dad always thought being there was the main thing because his dad wasn't there.
Mhm.
And I thought the same way.
Mm.
Like I thought the same exact way. I have to be here for my kids. Since I was a little kid, I ain't had no kids. I was always saying, I'm gonna be there for my kids
Mhm.
because I don't have my father and I know how I feel.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna totally negate that for my children. I'm gonna be there,
Mhm.
God willing. So noticing that me just being there doesn't necessarily mean that that's enough.
Yeah. Right.
What am I doing while I'm there?
Ooh.
What am I putting into my kids' minds? Like, what am I feeding them?
Mm,
What does my work ethic show them?
mm.
Of I'm always at work. It's been plenty of time. My little girl, she's 7 now, who says you always at work, and I had to take back and go, but I'm here. And she was like, I mean, yeah. And she's a very articulate little girl. Set me straight. You here, daddy, but you're not here. You at work or you going to rehearsal, which
Mm.
is stuff I used to take her to rehearsal, which is crazy now because she just did her first show
Mm.
over Christmas,
Wow.
and yeah, yeah, she's an animal. She's way better than me at 7. I'm gonna tell you that much right now.
Thank
But she's a super, super, super articulate child, and being home has allowed me to have that open dialogue with her. Like I have a 2-year old. She just say, "Daddy, food. We'll be eating.
right.
We eating, dog. I'm hungry. Yo, let me see the iPad." Like that's her dialogue. But my 7-year old is much more detailed. It's much more like it's just so much more that goes into it because it's like she can articulate her feelings now. It may not be 100% how she feels, or
Mhm.
she may not know the words to 100% say it. Like, but she knows enough to go. I know that you're here, Daddy. I know that. I know I have a dad. I know who you are. I know where you come from. But I do need this, that, and the third. Like, I need like when I'm down, when I want to play. Like it's not enough for you to go. I'm tired. I can't play right now. Like I need you to play with me.
Mm.
And even it's as simple as something as playing. Like it's just
Makes a difference.
being there. Yeah, being there is just not enough for some.
Yeah.
Some people being there is enough. Some people just want you there. Some people need more from you.
Yeah,
But my older daughter, she's let me know I need more.
do something.
And for her to want to be an actor, yeah, for her to want to perform and be an artist, it just lets me know how she already thinks of me.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like I got to do like I do the work for everything else, Jay. I got to do the work for my kids. I mean, this took a turn to what I was getting into, but
Nah,
this pandemic has done to me.
good.
Like I have to do the work in all aspects. I'm not going to lose weight if I'm just sitting on my ass all the time. I got to do the work. I'm not going to have a great relationship with my daughter if I'm not putting in the work.
Come on. Come
So
on.
it's like that's this
Oh, yeah.
pandemic did, man. Like
Hey, that's real, man. That comes from a real place, man. A parent, man. I understand that wholeheartedly, dog. Same thing for me. I didn't grow up. My father was. I lost my father at a very young age. So when I had kids, my first thing, I'm gonna be there. And then same thing. My wife was like, "You here, but you ain't really here. Like you're not
mhm,
doing so because you working. You always working." And same thing for me. This was a year I got to really focus on what's really important in my life. What's really, do I really need to go to this place? Or I really need to do this? Do I really need to watch this? Nah.
mhm.
Let me put this into that energy into my kids. So I feel that wholeheartedly. As they say, you preach to the choir right now. So that's a
Yeah, I mean, because like I use this as therapy, man. Talking to people like yourself, man. It helps me get my thoughts out into a space. Like I told you before, this I'm an open book. It's nothing really too personal for me.
Mhm.
It's just how I am. Like
Right,
it's just I don't know. I'm not ashamed. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like it's none of that. So you ask me a question, I give you the answer. Sometimes I might give you an answer you ain't ask
right,
because
right.
that's just how I am. But that's why having this type of talks, man. I really appreciate you asking me to do this with you, man. Like really, like you didn't have to ask me.
Yeah.
So like, don't think this is just. I'm expecting this. This wasn't an expectation of mine. This was a total gift. Just a gift. It was something that I'm like, yo, of course. When you hit me up, of
Yeah.
course.
You even said you was like, I don't need to know the details. J Weeks, you asking me? Just yes. Just tell me when you need me.
Yeah.
Like, all right, say less. It is.
Yeah, right. Like, cause that's how I feel. But at the end of the day, like back to the being there as a parent. Like, granted, being there sometimes ain't enough, but at least being there helps you find out what is enough.
Mm, there we go.
Because my father couldn't do that. He
Mm,
wasn't there, so I
mm,
couldn't have dialogue with him and tell him, "All right, you here, but this is what else I need from you."
mm.
You know what I'm saying? I always say, I'll be there, let the chips fall where they may,
That's dope.
and I'm here. Granted, I've learned I have to do more work,
Hmm.
but at least I'm learning that.
Yes, sir.
That's
Def-
what everything, man. Do the work.
Definitely, man. So, man, yeah, I know you always keep something moving, man. You're like you said, you got that bug, you got that drive, you got that passion, that fire within you, man. What can we look for? I know this is gonna be a different year, but what can we look forward to seeing from Chase, man? Because I know you always got something cooking.
Look. Look, I slow down a lot, and I'm focusing on like a lot of like I said, writing and stuff. But one thing definitely is more work with Easy Day
Yeah,
because that's a relationship. That's a relationship that I'm very thankful for.
yeah.
And I've we had a show that just ended. Uh, Season just ended called Optics Fall.
Hmm.
Optics Falls, and I was in that. It just completed. It's on YouTube. You type it in, you find it. That's something that I'm extremely
I'll put
proud
all
of because
the
I'm
links
growing.
I'll put the links on here too when we release the video for. I'll make sure I drop everything down here for you.
Okay, all right, bet that. Yeah, that's definitely because I'm growing as an actor on film because it's way different than stage. That's another thing. And going forward, I got a with Easy Days something called Spectre that we're trying. COVID granted, we're trying to shoot and everything, do what I'm saying, and get that up out there this year. So
I
that's
see.
what I got coming for. And I'm writing something. Me and my man Dartez and my man Martel. We writing something about single fathers because it's just something that we was sitting there having a conversation. Like we always talk about single motherhood, but how do single fathers carry it? Like how do us as fathers that are not with the mother, how do we carry it?
Mm,
And just a brief synopsis: it's three of us.
yeah.
Uh, and I'm gonna say my character, he lost his wife,
Mhm.
tragic accident. The other character, Dartez's character, has a deadbeat mom, pretty much, and Montel's character, he's a deadbeat dad. He has a child, and this is like I'm trying to paint it as real. It ain't like a deadbeat dad, and we just okay with it. No, he get beat up every episode. Like it's go get your child. Like you my brother, but we got to be real. So we trying to paint that picture, man. It's coming together, but it's a lot of rewriting because we trying to make it right. Like we trying to make it authentic.
That's dope.
So
that's dope.
That's what I got coming.
Hey man, we definitely gonna be sure to post all your links, man, your handles and everything. But before I let you go, my brother, what is it that you want to leave the people with, man? Because there may be actors, aspiring actors, or artists that's just looking out there. What do you want to leave them with, man? I'm gonna let you have the floor, man. And hey, go ahead and say what you gotta say, my brother.
Run the theme of this episode, man. Do the work. It ain't easy. It's worth it. It's not gonna be easy, but it's gonna be easier than what you think it's gonna be. Because at the end of the day, if you're doing the work, then it's gonna come. And if it don't matter if you don't have no experience, all the experience in the world, it doesn't matter. Everything in between, do the work.
That's my biggest thing. Do the work. So man, I definitely appreciate you, accepting my offer to come on this show, man. I told you when I talked to you on the phone, this show was all about highlighting and celebrate dope artists that I know to tell these dope stories, these real stories about things they've experienced and just what it just means to be an artist. Because we have all these perspectives and people talking about this and what the artist is, but they're not even really artists. So what better way than have actual artists come on here and have a platform to speak freely about their art and what they do. So man, I salute you, my brother. I see you. I see your work. Don't think that you're putting out something that your boy Jay Weeks ain't already see, man. I watch you, man. I watch y'all. I see y'all. I'm always in support of y'all. And your boy is always available if y'all need something. But man, again, I appreciate it, my brother. I let you have any last thoughts you got to say, man. But I just thank you, man. I can't thank you enough, dog.
I'm gonna use this as a personal thing to just let you know that I'm gonna need you. We're gonna have to do some work. We're gonna have to put some work in. I'll come to Georgia if I have to.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the last thing I was. I'll just use it as a personal little request.
You got exclusive. Hey, definitely, man. I definitely appreciate you. Like I said, man, I thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of The Artist Prepares. We will definitely catch y'all next week, but make sure y'all always remember to support the arts. We'll catch y'all next week.